With the recent possible announcement of Tekken 8 at EVO 2022, we're all very excited. Tekken 7 was the most successful entry in the series, and expectations are very high. So we want to see how Bandai Namco can build off of this success. Ultimately, whatever they do, it's gonna be a balance of both looking back to the series' roots, whilst also bringing Tekken up to par with modern-day expectations. This is Arya from That Blasted Salami, and in this video we're gonna look at 5 features we want to see integrated into the next King of Iron Fist tournament, to make sure that it both stands up to the competition and lives up to its legacy. And if you want to see more guides from top Tekken players and fun little videos like this one, be sure to subscribe to DashFight and hit that bell for updates. Anyway, let's dive into it. 5 features we want to see in Tekken 8. First of all, a good story mode. Of all the stories in the world of fighting games, Tekken has one of the most interesting. The bloodied history of the Mishima clan and their pact with the devil has so much potential for real pathos and emotional weight. There are just so many endearing, interesting characters in Tekken, from Law and Paul's ongoing struggles to scrape a buck, the Williams sisters' bitter rivalry, and fun, goofy characters like Kuma or Mokujin. Please come back, you lovable hunk of blocks. We want to see these characters and this world done justice. Tekken 7's storyline was a valiant attempt at bringing it up to modern standards, but it really paled in comparison to, say, Mortal Kombat 11, which had a much firmer understanding of why people love these characters. With Street Fighter 6 going full-on open world in Metro City, Capcom is clearly taking this element of the fighting game package seriously, potentially even integrating it with a tutorial mode. For casual audiences, this is such an important part to get right. So we hope Bandai Namco has learned from its mistakes in the past and can stand toe-to-toe with the competition here. Become DashFight's supporter on Patreon. Get early access to DashFight guides. Click the link in the description. Speaking of the past, of all the fun minigames that Tekken has tried out, easily the most iconic and recognizable were Tekken Force Mode and Tekken Ball, which were popularized in Tekken 3, arguably the most iconic and recognizable Tekken overall, which is probably no coincidence. These modes were just fun. Who wouldn't want to take their favorite Tekken character with their entire 100+ moveset and throw them into a Streets of Rage style brawler? Tekken Ball was also the perfect minigame, taking Tekken's goofy sense of humor and mixing it in with a big iron beach ball to create a game of surprising depth. There's a reason this game is still played at major events. It's that good. Please bring them back. Focusing on the more competitive side of Tekken, it's no exaggeration to say that a huge part of its success hinges on having a modern, fully kitted online experience. This means functional rollback netcode, dedicated servers, and proper anti-cheat. The COVID pandemic really demonstrated to fighting game developers the vital importance of a robust online experience to the competitive longevity of their game. It's encouraging to see that even games like Dragon Ball FighterZ and Samurai Showdown will soon be retrofitted with rollback netcode, but discouraging to see that this still doesn't seem to be a priority for Tekken. Season 4 was released with purported improvements to the netcode, but this has seemingly degraded over time. The lack of even basic anti-cheat has made progressing through the ranks a slog, and the fact that your rank is stored locally, not even on a server, has been abused by pluggers. This is frankly all quite embarrassing for a game of Tekken's stature, and we hope it's addressed in the future. Another vital component to the development of the competitive scene is a good tutorial mode. Tekken is hard. Even basic movement is something that needs to be learnt and mastered. Then there are the thousands of moves to familiarize yourself with, along with the hundreds of rules, many of which have contradictory rules. It's no exaggeration to say that when you get into Tekken, it's a lifelong pursuit. And that's cool, but also really off-putting and scary for beginners. Instead of watering down the game, we'd much prefer that Bandai Namco respect the player's intelligence with a proper tutorial mode. As suggested earlier, maybe even integrate it seamlessly with the story mode and an open world like Street Fighter 6 is potentially doing. Personally, I feel like the best tutorials are invisible. Even calling something a tutorial is off-putting to some people because it sounds like homework. Instead, teach players organically without them even realizing through offline story progression. It could get so many more players into your competitive scene. But in the meantime, if you want high-quality Tekken character guides, analysis videos, podcasts, and regular tips to help you understand Tekken better, enjoy it more, and just make you a stronger player, then please check out my channel, That Blasted Salami. Okay, shilling time is over. Finally, this last one is minor, but so simple and low effort that we wonder why it's even been ditched from a lot of modern fighting games. Team Battle. This was a staple in a lot of fighting games back in the 90s and early 2000s, but somewhere along the way it just sort of got forgotten? Why? It's always fun to play through all your characters against all your friends' characters. Such a simple addition that can add so much longevity, or at least variety, to a fighting game. And that was 5 features we want to see in Tekken 8, or whatever the next step in the series is. Do you agree? What features would you like to see in the next Tekken? Please let us know in the comments. This was Arya from TBS, wishing you an excellent day.